What do you strongly suspect but have no proof of? I believe my grandmother was a serial killer. She was married 7 times, each ending in a sudden death. She died in the 1980s, but everything is still suspicious and no one seems to know anything. I did find an article about her when she came to the US where her first husband died defending her after her ex-boyfriend climbed in her window in New York City. I also found evidence of her having been in prison before coming to the US. I think my local newspaper and news station make up fake Facebook profiles to post inflammatory statements in the comment sections of their news releases. There are frequent commenters whose profiles have a basic name, no friends, random intonation friends, basic profile information and only one profile picture who will make some outlandish comment that starts a war. My phone isn't really at 100% when it tells me it is. The Kardashians usually wear solid colored clothing because it's easier for them to Photoshop. That the ginger ale at this diner I go to every day is just Coke and Sprite mixed together. Toddler pageants are just dog whistles for blank rings to operate in the background. Some zoos have empty exhibits and just claim the animal is in there, you just never see them. I work for a call center for the marketplace in the US. There was no interview, barely any training. Super high turnover and super low morale. None of their decisions make sense. The entire operation almost feels like it's trying to work as poorly as possible so everyone hates it. That there is something seriously wrong with me and people aren't telling me about it. I feel I have some sort of serious mental disability, personality disorder, or even some slight retardation and no one will acknowledge it or admit it to me. That Bath and Body Works has like 13 unique scents. Every couple of months they just rotate the scents in and call them something else. That a lot of businesses in my hometown are just money laundering operations. 25 nail salons in a town of 70,000. 3,000 square foot DVD rental shop in the best block of downtown where the commercial rents are very high. Dozens of $10 barber shops sitting empty all day but remaining open. Red flags all around. That my brother stole and sold all my 3DS games for weed money. They were in a black case and one day they were gone. Case and all. I still haven't beaten Pokemon Conquest. My uncle stole my Nintendo 64 for drugs when I was a kid. He told me that his friend borrowed from him but it never came back. My uncle pawned my SNES. Didn't give me a reason, just said I pawned it. I was 9. That my father was in a super secret sector of the military during his service in the Vietnam War. Unfortunately he died 2 years ago so I'll probably never know what he really did. There's one company in a town local to me who board up windows. Nobody else in the area seems to do it. Every single window, door, abandoned shop, all done by this one company. They've got a ridiculous sized HQ and have put a decent amount of money towards fixing up other buildings in the area. So I've got a theory they are the ones doing the damage or paying people to do it, and then obviously getting the job of fixing it up as they're really well known in the area. Despite having no proof of this, I am 100% confident I am onto them. Someone was repeatedly breaking my BJJ gym's windows. My gym being heavily populated by cops and PIs set up surveillance and caught the window repair guy doing it. My pa grew up in Brooklyn in the 60s and on up. For a few months every Saturday night there was a handful of car windows smashed. Guess what? Only one car window repair shop open on Sunday. They staked out neighborhoods around the shop that was open. As you guessed, the genius owner was going around with a slingshot shooting our people's windows on Saturday nights to drum up business. That Apple invented the AirPod meme. Queen Elizabeth will probably live up to 120 years and longer. She is one of the best fed and most cared person on earth. If we invented something for immortality, she likely took it already. That my English teacher didn't read essays and base grades on how we were in class. Had a teacher who told us once when he was at college, he thought his English professor was doing the same thing. He would turn in a paper and just get a grade back, no other marks or notes. So he decided to randomly insert, "If you read this I owe you 1 case of beer." Got the paper back as usual with a grade, nothing else. So he kept doing this for all his papers. End of the year comes along. Everyone gets their final grades, except for my teacher. The professor then states to the class that he owes him 20 cases of beer before he gets his grade. Turns out he had been reading them all and made extensive notes separately. He had to borrow his buddy's truck to get the professor's favorite beer in order to pass the class. That some Canadian guy who owns an antique shop that I bought a camera from in April recognized me. He acted flustered when I came in and I came back the next day to make my purchase. He sold me the camera for what I thought was a reasonable price and threw in an owner's manual in near perfect condition. A quick Google search reveals that it's an extremely rare camera that was only produced for 2 years. 1 out of 1,000 still in existence are operational and 1 out of every 1,000 working ones still has a certain part. Mine does. This guy's whole shop was based around antique cameras and my dad talked shop with him for a while and he even explained to me how to find film or modify some for my camera. He knew what he was selling me and lost a lot of money on the transaction. I even got it appraised to confirm my suspicions about what it was. He's a time traveler and you're destined to take a very important picture with that specific camera. Reddit questions are a clever way AI could compile data on every one of us. It's taking questions like, what would you buy if you could only buy things with the first letter of your name? Children of the 80s what is it in your state/country that? It's capable of building a profile on all of us.